We've heard it all. I'll start on Monday. Next month is when I'll really commit. Once things settle down, I'll begin. These are the words of someone living for a fictional moment called someday. It sounds harmless, even optimistic, but it's one of the most sophisticated forms of self-sabotage we engage in. Why? Because someday is not a calendar date, it's a psychological trap. We convince ourselves that time is necessary for change, that our future self will be stronger, more disciplined, more ready. We assign transformation to a later date because it allows us to delay discomfort. The problem is, the person we imagine becoming later doesn't exist unless we take action now. The whole idea that change takes time is often just a way to rationalize staying the same. Your brain loves the idea of someday. It offers safety, it avoids risk, and it lets you off the hook. But the truth is, change doesn't start when conditions are perfect. Change begins the moment you decide to do something different. You can plan endlessly. You can gather up all the tools. You can visualize and still stay stuck in the same place for years. Because the tools don't matter unless they're used. Your mind is designed to conserve energy and follow familiar patterns. That's why habits, good or bad, become so deeply ingrained. The more you do something, the more automatic it becomes. So if you're used to procrastinating, second-guessing, or deferring decisions, your mind carves a well-worn path that resists interruption. It's not a personal failure, it's neurology, but it can be overridden. The key is to interrupt the pattern in real time, not tomorrow, not next week. In the exact moment you catch yourself repeating an old behavior, you pause, you breathe, and you choose. I know it sounds small, but that micro choice is where the whole trajectory shifts. You don't need to overhaul your life all at once. You just need to act differently in one moment and then the next.
This brings us to a crucial point. We've been conditioned to believe that all meaningful change is gradual, that it unfolds slowly, like a sunrise over weeks or months. And while some skills do require time and practice, transformation itself doesn't. It's not a slow burn, it's a switch. The delay isn't in the action, it's in the decision. Think about it like this. A room can be dark for 10 minutes or even 10 years, but the second you flip the light switch, it's illuminated. That's how change works. It isn't time that transforms you. It's the moment you choose to flip the switch. Everything before that is waiting, and every second you wait, you strengthen the habit of postponing your life. The illusion of the future self is powerful. We believe the person we'll be next year will have more time, more clarity, more willpower. But that person is just you, operating under the same habits unless something intervenes. Hoping for a better version of yourself to magically emerge without conscious choice is like expecting a garden to grow because you bought seeds and left them in the packet. Change doesn't need more time. It needs more honesty, more willingness to step out of the rut and into a new behavior now. And once you make that choice, your brain will resist. That's expected. But every time you override that resistance, even in small ways, you start building new neural trails. Not grand, not glamorous, just repeated intentional action. And here's something else. The most effective change doesn't come from motivation. It comes from structure. If you rely on willpower alone, you'll burn out. But if you change your environment, make the right choice easier, you increase your odds dramatically. Remove the junk food from your kitchen. Set your writing tools where you can't miss them. Make distractions inconvenient and focus frictionless.
Environment matters, but so does support. You don't need a crowd cheering you on, but you do need alignment. Surrounding yourself with people who model the kind of thinking and behavior you aspire to reinforces your commitment. That's not about finding perfect mentors, it's about exposing yourself to conversations and communities that normalize present moment decision making. What delays most people isn't lack of desire, it's fear. Fear of failing, fear of not being good enough, fear of doing it wrong. That's why someday feels safer. It's abstract. You can't fail at something you haven't started. But here's what's important: the cost of waiting isn't just lost progress, it's lost trust in yourself. Every time you tell yourself you'll do it later and then you don't follow through, you erode your self-integrity. You start to doubt your own worth. And when that happens, even the best intentions start to feel hollow. Rebuilding that trust begins with small wins. Not big declarations, not grand plans, just one real action in the present that contradicts the old story. We need to stop romanticizing future success and start respecting present power. The life you want isn't waiting for you at the end of a 12-month plan. It's built one deliberate moment at a time. Every decision to show up, to pivot, to try again, even if it's awkward or incomplete, is a brick in that foundation.
And that brings us back to the simplest question that you can ask yourself in any moment. Do I want to repeat this pattern, or do I want to choose something different? It's not about right or wrong. It's about conscious versus automatic. Most people live their lives on autopilot, recycling habits and narratives. They never intentionally choose. But you don't have to. You don't need a new mindset before you act. You need action to generate a new mindset. Behavior precedes belief. Once you start moving differently, thinking differently starts to follow. Each small choice becomes evident for a new identity. There's no secret formula. Just stop deferring your life to a hypothetical later. That version of you've been waiting to become, they're only one decision away. You don't need to prepare to become them. You need to choose to be them right now.
If you found this episode helpful, please give it a like to let us know. And make sure you're subscribed and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. And if you think someone else would benefit from this message, please feel free to share it with them. So thanks for tuning in. Until next time, be differently, dream boldly, and create consciously.
I'm a quiet rebel. I don't